Welcome to the FanDuel Punch-Out. I'm Jason Gilbo, JGilbo11. Taking a look at tonight's 9-game slate here. Features some quality pitching options like Jose Fernandez, Danny Salazar, Jacob deGrom, Madison Bumgarner. So definitely a night where we're going to kind of focus on the value. But given the fact that you do have kind of some cheap guys like a Joe Musgrove, I mean, you could stack some bats if you wanted to.
No doubt, no doubt. I definitely like FanDuel more tonight than what our DK brethren have given us to work with.
Yeah, the pricing definitely a little bit more easier to accommodate here. And you'll notice that right as the first game comes along, Phillies and Dodgers, Jared Eichhoff versus Ross Stripling. Eichhoff is a guy who struggles with lefties. This year alone, 345 WOBA, 1.43 home runs per nine. So lefty bats here for the Los Angeles are certainly in play.
This is like peaceful, right?
It's definitely much more relaxing when you're going about building a lineup.
Yeah.
It's just you were kind of DK. We're forced to dive down to guys that we really don't want to be diving down to.
Right. So I mean, Corey Seager at 38, obviously a pay-up option, but very much worth it against Eichhoff and his 350 WOBA against lefties, as well as Josh Reddick. While I don't love his price, I do think he is in play tonight.
Yeah, I do too. And obviously, Adrian Gonzalez coming off a 2-homer night. Yasmani Grandal, both at 3,200. I don't mind them. Those are much more easier prices than they were over on DraftKings, especially that Grandal price.
Mm-hmm.
So, Utley, your value up top at second base. I don't mind him if you're kind of diving down at second. But overall, I think you should pretty much feel comfortable with the Dodgers in all formats.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much 1 through 6 here is something I'm pretty comfortable with. Even a Jock Peterson as sort of a random like tournament swerve. I think that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, it definitely is. As far as the Phillies go, I mean, I don't mind some of these guys. You look at Stripling, kind of your average righty. He's a guy who doesn't go deep into games as well. Struggled a little bit more with right-handers, so I'm certainly okay with a Maikel Franco at 2,800. It also, when you have Cesar Hernandez and Odubel Herrera, both at those prices, that's kind of the value I don't mind going if you need it.
Yeah, give me that 2 through 4. I'll take that all day. Again, they were super priced up on DK. I think that in itself is an indicator of maybe sometimes the value site to site. Because if DK was pricing them up that much, obviously they saw something. But just in general, from my view, I like Odubel Herrera either way. So at 28, that's a really, really nice value.
Yeah, it definitely is. So I think that game alone definitely stands out as kind of one of those mid-range games to target.
Mm-hmm.
Astros and Orioles here next. You got Joe Musgrove versus Kevin Gausman. Obviously, two attractive GPP options tonight, given the strikeout rates and kind of the recent downside of the Baltimore Orioles. There are some prices on the Orioles that I don't mind. I mean, obviously, guys like Machado, Chris Davis, Trumbo are still reasonably priced, even Adam Jones. But I actually find myself using Musgrove quite a bit as far as GPPs go, just because Orioles haven't really been all that great.
No, they haven't. So I think Musgrove definitely a GPP guy. If that is the case, you're probably not touching many Orioles, and I'm going to be on Musgrove, so probably not going to be touching many Orioles.
I'm not either. I mean, obviously, it's still kind of the notable names there. I mean, who to target, guys like Davis, Trumbo, Machado, Jones. Nothing's changed there.
No, yeah, exactly. We pretty much know who to target with these Orioles at this point in the season. And Chris Davis as that punt guy who will probably strike out 3 times, but might get a homer.
Hey, did against Price last night.
Yeah, there you go. So. The one night I'm not on him,
Yeah, that's true. As far as Houston goes, I mean, the George Springer price is not something that I want here. 3,900. I liked it much more in DK. If there is one bet that I am looking to pay up for, it's probably going to be a Carlos Correa.
Yeah, I like Altuve, but I agree with Correa as well. Springer at that price, when it's even between those 3, he's clearly the third option in this matchup. So I definitely like that. Beyond that, though, I mean, maybe an Evan Gattis at 3. Other than that, I'm not really looking too deep at everyone else in this lineup.
Yeah, price considered, the matchup considered. I mean, obviously Gossman's still a reverse splits guy, which we did talk about a couple of righties. Gossman 366 Woba to right-handers this year, 2.17 home runs per nine. Definitely a GPP team to target. I think Correa's cash game for me if you can fit him in, but not something I'm going to be forcing in.
No.
Indians and White Sox here next. Danny Salazar versus Carlos Rodon. A couple of those bats up top are certainly much more reasonable. Like a Rajai Davis, who was priced, I believe, over 5K on DraftKings, much more easier to accommodate here. I definitely don't mind him.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to play the Indians every night, but it just doesn't seem to. I don't know. Against lefties, I'm a little hedging, but at the same time, I'm okay with the Rajai Davis. I'm okay with the Mike Napoli. And I mean, Kipnis at this price, I'm not totally afraid of that matchup, I guess.
Yeah, the Davis and Napoli prices are something I'm looking at the top of the order. But then I'm diving down. I like Jose Ramirez here. It's not a bad price tag for him at 3,100. Brandon Guyer is an awesome steal here on FanDuel. I mean, I liked him as well, but even better price here on FanDuel. Yoki Rodon, I mean, 365 Woba to righties, 1.68 home runs per nine. Obviously, a little bit boomer bust. So I'll certainly take those Indians bats there.
Definitely.
As far as the White Sox go, I mean, we've already talked about some teams that are kind of priced down in their tier, so I don't feel even a need to kind of dive into White Sox against Salazar.
No thanks. Yeah, see you later, White Sox. You can have fun beating up on pitchers, but I don't care. I just don't care. Done. Done with you.
Jeez, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hostile.
Yeah, very hostile at this stage.
Marlins and Reds next year. Jose Fernandez versus Dan Straley. As far as the Reds bats go, I mean, some of them are priced down, but I don't feel I need to dive into any of those pricing, especially guys like Votto or Hamilton or Phillips or Kozar. I don't need to kind of go against Jose Fernandez on a bigger slate here.
Yeah, give me Votto at 2K, and I'll start him against Fernandez. But at 36, I'm all set.
$16.
Yeah, give me Votto for the min, and I'll think about it. But at 36, I'm all set. I just don't see the upside of this Reds offense tonight. I just don't see it.
No,
I don't see them getting 3 runs. Never mind, hitting DFS value.
No, I don't think so either. And as far as Straley goes, I mean, pretty average against both sides of the plate. The Yelich and Ozuna prices at 3,500, I'm okay with. Derek Dietrich, I mean, obviously first base isn't a spot you really like to pay down at. So I think I'm more off of him here just because of his position.
Yeah, I agree. 35 is okay. I mean, you look at Dietrich at 24, obviously, and Ichiro. I think you can look at these lefties, but they're just kind of a tournament lineup for me.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, nice ballpark factors, but obviously Straley's kind of your up and down guy as well.
Yeah, right.
Nationals and Braves here. Rob Whalen versus Reynaldo Lopez. Some of those Nationals bats I do like a little bit. I mean, I like the Wilson Ramos price at 3,300, reasonable catching option. Obviously, I mean, if you look to pay up, it's still the Turner, Murphy, Harper group.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same cast of characters, though I will say Wilson Ramos definitely in play for me, as well as Ben Revere at 27. I think that's a pretty solid value.
Yeah, and you look at Whalen, I mean, he's given up a home run in each of his 3 starts this year. I mean, hasn't shown any ability so far to hold major league hitters to anything remotely average. So I'm definitely okay with the Nationals bats there. I mean, one of the friendlier offenses to target.
Definitely.
As far as the Braves go, I mean, I like Freddie Freeman at 3.6, but outside of that, no, I don't need to use him here on FanDuel.
Yeah, you do like to see some of these lefties in the 2K value, like Markakis and stuff like that. But overall, I agree. You just kind of look at Freeman here, say, okay, he's probably going to crush this dude. Poor Reynaldo Lopez, and then kind of move on from this lineup.
Yeah, definitely. And this one here, I mean, I like quite a bit. Twins and Royals, Dylan G versus Tyler Duffy. Looking at the Twin side of things, I mean, as we talked about, Joe Mauer and Miguel Sano might not be in the lineup. There could be some shakeup there. You had some really nice prices like a Max Kepler at 3,400, and Eddie Rosario, Trevor Plouffe. I mean, all in that 3K range. Even a Jorge Polanco, 2,800. The only one you got to pay up for is Dozier, which is understandable given what he's done of late.
Mm-hmm.
I like this Twins offense. I'm really curious to see what shakes up when that lineup comes out.
Yeah, I agree. Again, you look at sort of the Jorge Polanco, kind of the new addition to the top of the lineup there at 28. Really like that. And then depending on what Mauer and Sano do, Kepler could be hitting third tonight. So that would be a prime potential cash game move if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, you look at G, 376 Woba to lefties this year, 1.71 home runs per nine, 353 Woba to righties, 2.01 home runs per nine. So, I mean, really, the Twins lineup, I mean, 1 through 5, what that shakes up to become, when that lineup rolls out. I'm certainly going to be looking at them in the majority of formats there.
Definitely.
Uh,
Definitely like those prices.
as far as the Royals go, sorry, just cracked me up there. As far as the Royals go, I mean, I do like some of these bats here. Obviously, is kind of a mid-tier price to pair up with guys like Fernandez and Bumgarner, Eric Hosmer, Lorenzo Cain, Paulo Orlando. Paulo Orlando's an awesome value for me tonight. I mean, he's been solid against both handedness pitchers, and I feel comfortable kind of using some of those front-end guys.
Yeah, I mean, I like Hosmer here and Kendrys Morales, but yeah, I definitely think this lineup's exploitable tonight, especially with sort of the reduced pricing. Nobody over 3,300. Hey, projected for over 4.5 runs. I think this is a pretty good bet tonight for some value if you're looking for it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this game alone's a good kind of focus point, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Mariners and Angels next year, Matt Schumacher versus Hashi Wakuma. This one, I mean, I'm not really on this game alone. I think you look at this Mariners offense. The Cano price is a little bit easier to stomach at 3,500. I don't mind that, but that's pretty much about it.
Yeah, Schumacher's pitched pretty well at home. I don't think you necessarily need to go into this lineup, but I will say they are some pretty nice prices here, especially compared to DK. I mean, Cano is 48 on DK, 35 here. I don't mind that at all. Even a Seager I'm okay with as well. So my normal move with the Mariners is like Cano and Seager against righties. So even in this tougher matchup, I'm definitely okay with them.
As far as the Angels go, I mean, I'm not really looking to use their prices. I mean, we talked about them on DK, but that was just because more of the pricing was so low. But when they're priced around guys that we actually do like much more,
Yeah.
it's you can just write the Angels off here for me.
Right, exactly. It's an okay matchup for Iwakuma, so I kind of expect him to at least limit the damage.
Yeah, definitely not a ton of upside in that game.
Right.
Diamondbacks and Padres next year, Paul Clemens versus Archie Bradley. Paul Clemens is a guy throughout his career has struggled against both sides of the plate. Diamondbacks pricing here, I mean, a little bit more easier to accommodate. I like the Segura price. I like the Jake Lamb, Yasmani Tomas price. I think those are much more reasonable.
Even a Michael Bourne at 27 against a weak righty, I think, is an interesting way to go. Yeah, other than Goldschmidt, I mean, this is really strong. We've been talking about this Lamb FanDuel price for a few weeks now, where you just kind of like, all right, Lamb at 32 against a weak righty, sure, I'm in. So you just kind of fire away with that. I'm not too concerned about that not paying off. And then, I mean, I think we can still look at this Padres lineup as sort of some nice punts with this group. The Alex Dickerson at 27 or the Shrimp at 3K.
Yeah, it's definitely a good GPP lefty lineup here because, I mean, you look at Bradley, I'm obviously 415 Woba to lefties this year, 2.06 horns per nine. That's kind of been a career issue with him. And as you mentioned, the names there, all left-handed bats who certainly have potential. And Petco is pretty average for lefty power, so I'm certainly okay. I mean, Petco really hasn't played out to be, I mean, obviously it's still one of the better pitching parks, but it's definitely kind of come back down to earth a little bit.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Mets and Giants here. Madison Bumgarner versus Jacob deGrom. I don't feel any real need to kind of dive into this game at all. Just given the fact that deGrom very tough on lefties, and righties as well. And you just look at this Mets lineup, and you're just like, how does Bumgarner just not go and run right through it?
I mean, if he doesn't get 8 to 10 Ks, I'm gonna be absolutely shocked because this lineup's just shooting fish in a barrel for him. So that should be pretty easy to fade. As far as deGrom, I mean,
fish in a barrel.
Shooting fish in a barrel. As far as deGrom goes, though, I mean, Denard Span at 25 is okay, but overall, it's just meh. Just not something you want to do, I don't think.
No, no. This game, I mean, luckily, I mean, usually Thursday games or Thursday slates, it's like 4 or 5 games. But given the fact that we got 9 to pick from, why dive into the best pitching matchup on the slate?
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to wrap things up with the FanDuel Punch Out. Be sure to check out DaveFantasyCafe.com for our great tools and content.